Attention loyal Cleveland Browns fans, a major update has just arrived straight from the AFC North, and it could completely redefine the course of this season. Something big is happening behind the scenes, and it could directly impact the Browns' journey toward another real shot at the Super Bowl. We're talking about a quiet but powerful shift in the balance of power within the division, turning point that could make one of our biggest rivals stumble hard in the coming years. But before we dive into the facts, here's a message. If you're a true Browns fan, the kind who celebrates every win and suffers through every loss, you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, show your support, share it with your friends, and let's reach 1,000 subscribers together. This community is more than a fan base, it's family. Now let's get to it. The Hearts in Cleveland took another deep breath. The loss to the Minnesota Vikings in an international matchup at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was one of those that leaves a mark. For most of the game, the Browns were in control. Early in the fourth quarter, the score was still tied 3-3, a tense balance, the kind of game that feels like the playoffs. But just 10 plays and 80 yards later, Carson Wentz led the Vikings on a drive capped with a 12-yard touchdown that flipped the game. Cleveland had its moments, especially on defense, which stayed solid for much of the matchup. But when the offense needed to respond, the end zone felt unreachable. And that's where Myles Garret comes in, the captain, the leader, the beating heart of this defense. After the game, he was straight to the point. You don't look too far forward or too far back. You just have to focus on the next opponent and figure out how to beat them. Garret doesn't talk about frustration. He talks about results, about mindset. Even with the loss, there were positives to take away. Rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel, in his first career start, showed poise and personality. The former Oregon Ducks standout completed 19 of 33 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, a solid outing for someone still adjusting to NFL pressure. Garret didn't hold back his praise. He looked like himself, calm, balanced, making the plays we know he can make. He put us in position to win. We just have to do our part. And they almost did. Running back Quinshon Judkins also impressed, rushing for 110 yards on 23 carries, including a spectacular touchdown run, unfortunately called back for holding. Those penalties once again haunted Cleveland. The Browns punted 8 times and converted only 3 of 15 third downs, numbers that say a lot about what this offense still lacks. On the defensive side, however, the story is different. Cleveland allowed just 97 rushing yards, forced 2 fumbles, one from Jordan Mason and another from Xavier Scott, and maintained the elite standard that makes this defense one of the most feared in the league. In the third quarter, Garret delivered one of the biggest plays of the game. On third down, Wentz tried to scramble for the first down, but the number 95 chased him down with ferocity and dropped him short of the line. For a moment, it felt like the turning point. The energy was there, the crowd felt it. But the same familiar script played out in the fourth quarter. A clinical Vikings drive, a touchdown, and another painful defeat. It was their 4th loss of the season, and perhaps the most frustrating one so far. Even so, Myles Garret stayed composed. No finger-pointing, no empty talk. Frustration doesn't matter. What matters are results. We need to close out games, he said, and he's right. The numbers show how much he's delivering. More than 20 tackles, 8 for loss, and 8 quarterback hits, just in the first stretch of the season. That's Defensive Player of the Year level production. But the big question remains, will the rest of the team keep up? The Browns aren't getting blown out. This isn't a team without life. Quite the opposite. Their games have been close, decided by small details and missed opportunities. The problem lies in the inability to finish. That killer instinct to close games when holding the lead just isn't there yet. Garret still believes. And when the leader believes, the locker room listens. The captain himself made sure to highlight rookie Dillon Gabriel's composure, confident, calm, ready to learn. It may seem early, but perhaps that's the spark this team needed to reignite its spirit. Cleveland fans know this pain all too well. They've seen promising seasons fade away, believed in rebuilds that never took off. But they also know when something feels different. And when this team finds its rhythm, it can beat anyone in the NFL. With the defense performing at a high level and the offense searching for stability, the horizon isn't lost yet. The next battle is against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the historic rival, the matchup fueled by emotion, pride, and fire. And if there's one game that can turn a season around, it's this one. Imagine beating the Steelers, silencing the critics, and showing the entire league that the Browns are alive, that there's still fire in this roster. This is the kind of win that changes everything, inside and outside the locker room. The Cleveland Browns fell to 1-4 with a loss to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday in London. But Myles Garret doesn't believe the season is a lost cause yet. The Browns were stunned late when Jordan Addison caught a 12-yard touchdown pass with just 25 seconds left. After the game, Garret sent a message about bouncing back as the team prepares for its next matchup. "You're always confident you can bring it back," Garret said. "You don't look too far ahead or behind. You just have to focus on the next opponent and figure out how to beat them." Garret requested a trade during the offseason, saying he wanted to play for a more competitive team. However, he later signed a 4-year extension, choosing to stay in Cleveland. Garret recorded 3 tackles and no sacks against the Vikings. The percentage of teams that reach the postseason after starting 1-4 is small, but the AFC North remains wide open. Cleveland just needs to turn things around quickly, starting next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns' defense allowed the Vikings and quarterback Carson Wentz to rack up 349 total yards. Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward took responsibility for the late touchdown to Addison. "Yeah, we were in cover 2 and I have to redirect the guy inside, not give him that much space for the safety," Ward said. "So I take full responsibility for that. I just need to finish and execute better in those final seconds." Fellow cornerback Greg Newsome also took the blame for the loss, something that couldn't be said earlier in the season. "It's on us as a defense," Newsome said. "We had the lead on the final drive, that's what we wanted, and we didn't do our part. It's tough to play that well and not finish at the end. It's our fault. Like I said, we had a lot of plays we should have made and didn't, and we gave them a chance. We just have to find a way to close out that game." The Browns' rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel made his debut after replacing veteran Joe Flacco, and he provided exactly the spark the team was looking for. Gabriel completed 19 of 33 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Most importantly, he protected the football and didn't commit any turnovers.